In my last using herbal medicine video, I discussed the different ways that herbs are used medicinally. So now let's talk about a little bit of the dosages and how you would actually go about using the herbs. Okay, so this can be fairly nuanced, but when it comes to ingesting them, if you're just going to take the herbs, you're going to eat them in a salad, you're going to add them to your food, put them in your soups, whatever. If you're going to do that, most of the herbs you're going to treat as if they're a leafy vegetable. Leafy vegetable, so that would be like your dandelion, your chicory, using those leaves, plantain leaf. Then you're going to treat them like a vegetable, so it would be 1 cup. That would be 1 serving, okay? It'd be kind of equivalent to 1 dose. Now, if you're using the roots, dandelion root, burdock root, chicory root, yellow dock, if you're using the roots and you're going to add them to your food, again, you would treat them just like you would a vegetable. So I think a root, it's more dense, so you would only need like a half a cup, but a cup isn't really very much that to add as a vegetable. That is how you would use those kind of herbs. If you're just going after the medicinal properties of the herbs, that's going to be more nuanced, and I would have to do a later video for that because it could get pretty complicated. Now, the second option would be, and it's usually the most popular, it would be to use it as a tea. When you make teas, they have all the medicinal properties. So the best dosages or the best dosing you can do for that, if you have a powder, 1/2 teaspoon to 8 ounces of water, roughly 250 milliliters if you use the metric system. So you would use a 1/2 teaspoon of powdered to 1 to 8 ounces of water. If you're using a cut and sifted herb, 1 teaspoon. Cut and sifted means it's all chopped up pretty fine. It's not quite a powder. You would use 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces of water. If it's the whole herb or if the herb is still wet, you're going to want to chop it up as fine as you can. And you're going to want to use 2 to 3 teaspoons per 8 ounces of water because it already has water in it. And once it dries up, you're going to lose more than half of your volume. So when you use a fresh herb, be advised you have to use more of that herb to achieve an equivalent result. Okay, so the last method we're going to talk about today is going to be alcohol-based tinctures. Now, if you use my particular method, my ratio is 100 grams of herbs to 500 milliliters of alcohol. You can usually use a quart jar for this. You're going to let it sit in there for 3 weeks. The alcohol that I use is 80 proof alcohol. There's a few herbs that you need a stronger percentage of alcohol, but I'll go over that when I do my next video on how to make a tincture. So when you dose those out for infants and children, infants and newborns, you're going to use maybe 1 drop would be your particular dose for that. For children, it would be anywhere from 1 to 3 drops. Any child over 13, you can use 5 to 10 drops, but obviously you're going to want to start with the lower end of the spectrum and then work your way up. Now, I am going to be doing a video on how to make an alcohol-based tincture. If anybody is interested in that, you got to let me know in the comments. And the next video that I'm going to do is going to be about social media, so stay tuned.